know how far back Christians were singing and writing songs?
Well, that's probably one of the easiest questions to answer because we actually have songs to Jesus in the New Testament. We have Philippians chapter 2, verses 6 to 11, which is a hymn. There's another one in Colossians 1:15 to 20, another hymn to Jesus. And so the easiest way to answer that question is we know there's a lot of hymns that the Christians sung because they're hymns in the Bible that we have as a part of our ongoing record.
Sadly, the musical notation didn't also get passed down with the manuscripts.
No. Anytime you have a poem or anything that's translated into English, some of the rhythm and the things that mark it out as poetry and as music are lost. But it's pretty clear to anyone who takes a close look at those passages, and maybe 1 Corinthians 13, it was poetic about love. You have this reality, the early Christians were creating art related to the person of Jesus in particular, and a praise and worship of him that speaks a lot about his divinity.
The first Christians were all Jews, and we know Jews were monotheists. They believed in just one God.
Yes.
So my question is, were the Christians departing from their Jewish roots in saying that Jesus was somehow also God?
Well, I don't think so. One of the things that often you can discover in a text are the things that people fought about. And so you can tell by reading the text of the New Testament, there's a lot of fights about the law. Christians were trying to figure out, should I keep the Torah? Should I not keep the Torah? There's a lot of fights about the place of the Gentiles. How do Gentiles and Jews live together? There's a lot of fights, not a lot of discussion about ethics. How do we live together as Christians? You know what you don't see them fighting about a lot in the New Testament? The divinity of Jesus. It actually seemed to be something that, in other words, you never hear Paul having to argue Jesus is actually divine. He usually assumes it for most cases throughout his letters. You see the exact same thing by the time you get to the Gospel of John. They're not fighting about it. You see it narrated in the Synoptics. And so it seems to be the case that pretty early on, the Christians began to think about Jesus and the Spirit as divine.
So it shouldn't surprise us that the Christians behind P. Oxy 1786 would sing about God as the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It seems from the beginning, the most important ideas weren't just proclaimed and written down, they were sung.